The most important thing you put on your feet while you're going hiking and backpacking is not your shoes, it's your socks. Hey, what's going on? It's Matt. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, I am going to talk about the most important thing you put on your feet when you go hiking or backpacking. It is not your shoes, it is socks. And we're going to talk about the three kinds of socks that you can wear, the one that you should never wear, my favorite pair, and some of the benefits of each, except for one. And let's just dive into that one. Is cotton. Cotton socks should never be worn when you're hiking or backpacking or doing any kind of activity, if that's soccer or whatever, because cotton does not wick moisture away from your skin. It kind of just sits there and kind of coagulates. It's not antimicrobial. Can never say that word. You guys know that. So meaning that not only will it not wick sweat away from your feet, it'll take very long to dry, and they'll stink like hell when they dry out. So stay away from cotton. No cotton anything when you go hiking or backpacking. It's just a bad idea. It takes too long to dry, and kind of like I said before, will stink to all hell. So that kind of leaves you kind of two other options when it comes to what you're going to put on your feet for socks. One is wool. I've got two different pairs of wool socks right here. This one is from a very popular company called Darn Tough. I'll talk about why I don't like them in a minute. The other one's just a pair from REI. Now, wool isn't what you remember as a child. It was not itchy these days. Most of it is got some sort of synthetic blend in it, some sort of elastane in it to make the wool kind of bounce back because they are in your feet all day. But why wool? So wool, the most important thing I can tell you is, specifically for wintertime, is that wool will retain 80% of its heat characteristic or heat trapping qualities, even if it's wet. Now, what does this mean? Well, your feet are going to sweat one way or another. And if you're in a winter environment, the last thing you want to do is get your feet cold. So even if these get wet, whether it be through sweat or whether it be through walking through some water or kind of getting snow in your boot, if wool is wet, it will retain 80% of its insulation properties, dries relatively quickly, never smells. However, I don't know, can sometimes feel heavy on your feet. Now, I mentioned that this is a pair of Darn Toughs. I personally hate Darn Tough socks. It's not a jab against the company. It's just these socks always make my feet sweat, even if I'm wearing a completely and totally porous shoe. They always really feel tight, so not a big fan. But if you are looking at wool socks specifically, take a look at Darn Tough. They are a great brand, and they have a lifetime warranty, and they're US based. So the other option you have is a synthetic sock, and I happen to be a big fan of synthetic socks for anything that doesn't involve winter hiking or any place that I know that I'm not going to intentionally get my feet wet. Meaning, like, if I know I'm going to be walking through a lot of streams and kind of like, little stream crossings, if my feet are probably going to get wet, I'll probably wear wool, but I hate wearing them. I'd rather wear synthetic. And I want to talk about this particular brand because I feel like nobody talks about this brand. This brand is Wrightsock, Wright. This is a very unique sock. But before I get into that, why synthetic? Well, dries quickly, antimicrobial, you know what I'm talking about, so your feet won't stink. And basically, they just wick moisture away from your feet. And so if you had 40 minutes to kill and you wanted to take your shoes off and your feet were a little wet, you could throw this over a branch and essentially it would be dry by the time you want. But let's talk about Wrightsocks real quickly because I see a ton of other channels doing sock videos when it comes to hiking, and I've never heard anybody mention Wrightsocks, and I think they're such an innovative sock. So, prototypical synthetic sock, there is some elastane in it to keep it stretchy. These hold up for a very, very long time. I do not know if they have a lifetime warranty. You can buy them at REI, which I will link below, and Amazon, which I'll link below. Both are affiliates. In fact, if you buy from there, it just helps me out at no cost to you, and also no cost to you. You could like this video. But so the interesting thing about these socks is that this is the one pair of socks that I have never experienced getting a blister with. And the reason why is, I'm going to try to find a way to show you guys this. This is actually a 2-layer sock. So this internal layer, this white layer, see if you can see through it, there's this other layer right here that is completely and totally separate. Now, what's the benefit of this? Well, you get blisters in your shoes or in your boots or whenever you're hiking or walking long distances because there's friction involved. And because this is two different layers that are not sewn in at only certain juncture points, like the ankle up here and down at the heel and at the toe box, this gives this sock the ability to move freely inside your shoe, so you'll never get a blister. Honestly, if you have a problem with blisters, take a look. They're called Wrightsocks. There's a dual layer technology in here. Technology in socks is kind of a weird thing to say, but it works. I've owned these, not this particular pair, but I've owned this brand for like 10 years. Never had an issue, and I'm still wearing the pair that I wore 10 years ago. So take a look at these things, but like I said, never wear cotton. Wool is fantastic, but me, I'm a big fan of the synthetic sock. And plus, you know what? Maybe I'll be vegan one day and I don't want to hurt sheep. Thanks for watching these things. Hope everyone's having a great day. Talk to you soon.